Assalamu alaikum students, your instructor Abdul Rafi here. So today we are going to solve company accounts question of the recent paper, that is October-November 2022, and this is basically paper 2 and variant 3, okay? So this is paper number 2, variant 3, October-November 2022. And I'm going to solve question number 3, that is company accounts. So a lot of students struggle in this chapter and how to make the statement of changes in equity. So it's a perfect question of 15 marks and it's not a huge question as well. So we'll solve it in complete detail with all the information, relevant information that students need to understand related to company accounts, okay? So let's get started. The first thing they're asking is that explain the meaning of 8% debentures 2025 to 2026. So students, we have to answer that R Limited is a retail company. Answer what is the meaning of 8% debentures 2025-2026. So students need to write down the answer that, sir, you have to explain debentures for 3 marks, which means 3 important points you have to give. So you can mention that, sir, debentures are long-term liabilities, long-term loan. It's usually for a long-term period. So debentures are long-term loan, also called certificates, okay? So debentures are long-term loan or certificates. That's a liability on a company, long-term loan liability for a company, used for financing purpose, liability for a company. It is used for financing purpose. You might, the company R Limited, they might need to finance a new project, or they need to do expansion, they need to buy some capital equipment, capital expenditure, or for any purpose. So it's a liability for a company used for financing of different purpose, used for financing of different purposes. You can also mention that, sure, this is also the 1 mark you will get for writing that it will be a fixed rate of interest. Fixed rate of interest is paid, that is 8% here. So fixed rate of interest is paid on the debentures each year. So fixed rate of interest 8% is paid. Fixed rate of interest is paid each year on the debentures, as well as the loan as well as debentures will be repaid. The amount will be repaid in the year of 2025 and 26, as well as it will be repaid. The complete balance of the debentures will be repaid in 2025, in the year between 2025 and 2026. So this is the perfect answer for 3 marks, which you will get all 3 marks. If you mention that on debentures you have to pay a fixed rate of interest, that is 8% according to the question. Similarly, this whole debentures will be repaid, the principal amount, that is the principal amount will be repaid in the year of 2025 and 2026. And you write down the definition that, sir, debentures are long-term loan certificates. We'll start with next part. Moving forward, students, we have question number part B, that is basically you have to prepare the statement of changes in equity for the year ended 30th September 2022, and they have already given you the format and the opening balances. So you have to find out the closing balances. There is the working space as well. So let's get started, and this is the numerics part. So 10 marks is numerics, while 5 marks of this question is theory, out of which 3 marks are already done. So let's get started talking about it. So you have been given the opening balances of the directors of R Limited have provided you that there is $120,000 building at valuation, retained earnings $315,000, revaluation reserve $40,000, okay, share capital, ordinary shares, and share premium. So this information is given, and then there are adjustments as well. Students need to understand these couple of important information that I'm telling. Make sure make notes as well. Okay, dates are very important in company accounting. Dates are very important. So the first thing you should judge is that, sir, the year starts on October 1st 2021 and the year will end on September 30th 2022. Okay, year will end on 30th September 2022. That is very important. This is how the year will start and year will end on. Secondly, these all information is already written, sir. That is opening balances of share capital 1200,000, share premium 145, 40, 10, 15, and total column as well, okay? And that is why it's 10 marks. Now, so the first thing, as I always say to my students, that first thing, find out that how many number of shares were there at the start of the year, okay? So at the start of the year, the first adjustment will be in the black one, that you should know. Let's do it below. That said, number of shares multiply by the par value और द फेस वैल्यू, द नॉमिनल वैल्यू, ओके, वॉट एवर एक शेयर जितने का भी है उससे नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स को मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं या फेस वैल्यू से, तो वी गेट द डॉलर वैल्यू ऑफ शेयर कैपिटल, ओके, डॉलर वैल्यू ऑफ शेयर कैपिटल. तो इफ़ यू कैन सी प्रॉपरली क्लियरली हियर दैट सर it is given $1,200,000 as the share capital dollar value, and one share is for $0.5 each, which means, sir, that you can work it out that if you want to get how many number of shares were there at the start of the year, so number of shares at the start of the year were 1200,000 divided by 0.5, you will get the number of shares, sir. So 1200 divided by 0.5, so basically that is 2.4 million, so 2400,000 number of shares, okay? Also this is not the correct word to write, but to pronounce, but 2.4 million shares are there for the company. So you can say that at the start of the year, which means that, sir, 1st October 2021 ko there are 2400,000 number of shares, okay? Let's get started with the workings, okay? So how you're going to work, sir? The following transactions took place during the year. So these transactions took place during the year. We started on 1st October 2021 at the start of the year, around 31st December, right after a couple of 2-3 months, October, November, December, end of December, you are paying a final dividend of 0.06 per share. So it's very simple, and students need to understand that the dividend already on my channel as well, that when it is per share that you are paying dividend, आप dividend pay कर रहे हो per share, so you have to multiply with the number of shares, and that is where this 2400,000 will help, okay? That is where this 2400,000 will help students. So that is share capital, and let's get work on the first one. So you are going to write it down that this is the final dividend paid. Let's do it in red color. So the first one is, sir, the final dividend paid, and dividends are subtracted from the retained earnings, okay? Students should know that dividends are subtracted from the retained earnings. So let's call this as working number 1, and we'll try to adjust this here, everything. So working number 1 will be at the start of the year, so number of shares into the dividend that is paid, sir, that is 0.06, okay? I'm going slow so that students will understand what to do. So 000 is above, so which means just have to get the answer, that is 144. So you will subtract 144,000 from the retained earnings. You will have to subtract from the total as well. So nothing in share capital, share premium, and revaluation reserve. Hope students got this, that this is 144,000, that is the final dividend paid at 31st December 2021, okay? So 144,000 is the amount of the dividend. Next, students, next adjustment follow in the yellow color, that is on 31st March made the right issue of 1 ordinary share for every 4 shares held at a price of 0.65. The issues was fully subscribed. Now let's just give me a couple of understanding logic as well, that what is basically rights issue, sir. So you need to understand, students, rights issue are when you are giving more shares to the existing shareholders. जो आपके existing shareholders हैं, जो R Limited company के existing shareholders हैं, उनको आप और shares issue करते हो, आप उनको और shares offer करते हो at a low price, मार्केट से लो प्राइस में. रीज़न इज़ कि आप, बिकॉज यू कंपनी ऑलरेडी नोज कि अगर हम पब्लिक जाएंगे, इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग करेंगे या और शेयर्स मार्केट में इशू करेंगे, तो वो थोड़ा एक्सपेंसिव होगा, इट विल बी मोर कॉस्टली, एंड इट्स बेटर कि डाइल्यूशन ज़्यादा ना हो. तो वो सिमिलरली जो इनसाइड कंपनी के ओनर्स होते हैं, जो शेयर होल्डर्स होते हैं, जो पहले से एग्जिस्टिंग शेयर होल्डर्स होते हैं, वो उनको ऑफर करता है कि आप हमसे और ले लो. तो एंड हाउ दे आर ऑफरिंग के मेकिंग अ राइट्स इशू of 1 for every 4. So हर जिसके पास 4 शेयर्स हैं उसको 1 शेयर और मिल जाएगा. So that is basically the rights issue, okay? So let's work about it कि how many shares will be there and what will be the working of this. So let's say that this is, sir, rights issue, and here we go, this will be, sir, working number 2, and let's start working number 2 here. Okay, students. So we are going to say rights issue. So first thing will be that we are giving every shareholder one more share, those who have 4 shares. So I'm going to say that share rights issue will be 2400,000 into 1/4. So that is going to be how many shares issued? So 2400,000 into 1/4, that is basically 600,000. So 600,000 shares are being issued. That you need to understand, students, that 600,000 shares are being issued. Now rights issue is basically done on par plus premium. Okay, and we can see that the price is mentioned here, that it is 0.65. They are being issued at 0.65. So students need to understand that, sir, from 0.65, follow very carefully, students, that 0.65 have the split of 0.5 as the share the par value, the face value, and 0.15 as the premium. Okay, students need to understand this thing कि 0.65 का जो स्प्लिट है इसमें प्रीमियम भी शामिल है और पार वैल्यू भी शामिल है. तो एक जो शेयर है उसकी जो नॉर्मल प्राइस है, पार वैल्यू, फेस वैल्यू, नॉमिनल वैल्यू है, वो है $0.5. लेकिन अगर हम इशू कर रहे हैं 0.65 पे जो कि प्रीमियम है, उसके भी रीजंस होते हैं कि आप शेयर प्रीमियम पे क्यों इशू करते हो, हम सेपरेटली डिस्कस करेंगे. तो वो विच मीन्स के इन दोनों का डिफरेंस जो है 0.15 है, वो आपका शेयर प्रीमियम है. और सारे के सारे जो शेयर्स हैं वो सब्सक्राइब हो गए, मतलब कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग शेयर होल्डर्स थे उन्होंने देखा कि मार्केट से कम रेट पे मिल रहा है, तो उन्होंने सारे के सारे 600,000 शेयर सारे के सारे ही सब्सक्राइब हो गए. किसी क्वेश्चंस में कम कुछ होता है कि सिर्फ खाली 200,000 ले लिए, सम लेस ले लिए, बट यहाँ पर सारे के सारे शेयर्स ले लिए हैं. तो आप ये कहोगे कि सर शेयर कैपिटल की जो वैल्यू होगी वो 600,000 इंटू 0.5 होगी, और शेयर प्रीमियम की जो वैल्यू होगी सर वो 600,000 into 0.15 होगी. ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स, सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी आवर आंसर, दैट 600,000 into 0.5, that is 300. So we're going to write that it will increase by 300,000 share capital, and 600,000 into 0.15, that will be 90,000, because 000 is up, so you'll write 300 plus 90. Together they will make an impact of positive 390, and there will be nothing in revaluation reserve and retained earnings. Okay, so hope students are getting this technique. Okay, that how we are getting share capital and share premium. Okay, and showing the workings as well to the examiner. So 300 is the increase in share capital, and $90,000 is the increase in share premium. So 2 adjustments are done. That sir, this is how you are going to do it कि 0.65 को split करेंगे, 600,000 shares जो है वो हो गए हैं. Now moving forward to the next adjustment, sir, if anyone have any questions they can ask in the comments. On 31st July, next after 31st March, couple of months later, 31st July ko they have made a bonus issue as well. This I have already explained in another video as well, that bonus issue जो होता है, it is not a source of finance. It is basically डन के ताकि जो प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं कंपनी को वो रिजॉल्व हो सकें, और ये एक तो सोर्स ऑफ फाइनेंस नहीं है और ये पार वैल्यू पे होता है, तो ये हमेशा 0.5 पर ही होगा जो उसकी कंपनी के एक शेयर की वैल्यू होगी. तो यू आर मेकिंग अ बोनस इशू. जब डिविडेंड्स नहीं पे कर सकती कंपनी तो बोनस इशू कर देती ताकि जो है शेयर होल्डर्स को बाद में बेनिफिट हो फ्यूचर में. सो मेड अ बोनस इशू ऑफ 1 ऑर्डिनरी शेयर फॉर एवरी 6 शेयर्स हेल्ड. सो जिसके पास 6 शेयर्स थे उसको कंपनी ने, आर लिमिटेड ने, दे हैव गिवन 1 मोर शेयर टू देम. द डायरेक्टर्स डिसाइडेड टू लीव द रिजर्व्स इन द मोस्ट फ्लेक्सिबल फॉर्म, व्हिच मीन्स कि अगेन दे विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम कैपिटल रिजर्व्स एंड गो ऑन टू revenue reserves. Okay, so let's work it out. But before doing 31st July 2022 adjustment, you need to understand ke what were the number of shares. Okay students, so let's do it here at the top. That's at the start, that is October 1st, October 2021, the shares were 2.4 million. So 2400,000 shares were there. Then on this adjustment, this date, that is 31st March 2022, still the year haven't ended, you have added some 600,000 shares. So you need to understand now your shares will be, sir, 3 million. Okay, so we need to understand that this will be adding up and you will getting the new number of shares. So these are the new number of shares. On this you are going to apply, students, on this you are going to apply the bonus issue. Okay, so hope everyone gets this, that on this you are going to apply the bonus share. So let's say that this is working number 3 for the bonus issue, sir. So here we go, bonus issue that is being done, and let's make some workings here. So for the working number 3, so utilize the space. So working number 3, sir, in the red color you're going to say that from now there are 3 million shares into 1 for 6, that every person who has 6 shares will get some more shares. So 3000 into 1 upon 6, that is basically 500,000 shares are being added more, and they will be issued at the par value, because this is not the rights issue. तो इसको जो है हमेशा par value पे issue करते हैं. तो the company is generating share capital of 250,000, but this is not coming in cash, or this is not a source of finance. So that is why this will be subtracted from the reserve. So 250 will be increased from here. Everyone hope getting it? That's why 250 will be increasing from here. Hope students are getting it. Okay, 250,000 will be written here, bonus issue, और आप bonus issue को finance करते हैं from the reserves. So first you are going to finance from the capital reserve, sir. So these two are, or let me highlight as well for the students. ये जो green color है इसमें these are capital reserves, share premium and revaluation reserve, and revenue reserves are in the blue color, that is retained earnings in this case only. Okay, so there is only retained earnings that is in the revenue reserves. So students need to understand that, sir, recent paper में जो उन्होंने they have made the announcement that you cannot finance bonus issue from revaluation reserve, so you're not going to use revaluation reserve for the financing. Okay, it's written completely a note in the syllabus that students will not be using revaluation reserve for the bonus issue finance. Okay, so this will not be used, which means you are left with the option, sir, we are left with the option of share premium and the retained earnings. So let's talk about share premium and the retained earnings. So if you add up the share premium, you only have 145 plus 90. So 145 plus 90,000 is 235. So we're going to finance 235,000 from here, from the share premium, and still 15,000 are left, sir. So 15,000 will be financed from here. Okay, everyone. So hope people get it. And net effect will be 0, as I have discussed that. Why, sir, net effect will be 0? Because bonus issue is not a source of finance. ये पैसे generate नहीं करता है. कंपनी अपनी short term liquidity को solve करने के लिए, cash management problems को solve करने के लिए, they ask the existing shareholders कि आप जो है हमसे और shares ले लें और उसको हम finance करेंगे अपने reserves के through, capital reserves and revenue reserves. फिर I'll explain, students, we need to understand that share premium only had an amount of 235,000 total net amount, and we had to finance 250,000. So we will utilize all of what is available in the share premium. We'll utilize all of what is available in the share premium. So 235,000 is utilized, and still 15,000 is remaining from the retained earnings that we are financing from there. Next adjustments will be simple and easy according to me. So this is bonus issue as well done. Okay, so we have done most tricky adjustments. Now again you are paying an interim dividend. Interim dividend, we have talked about that it is a dividend paid during the year. Anytime during the year it can be paid to benefit the shareholders. So you are paying an interim dividend on 31st August. So let's write it down as well. Interim dividend. What will be the mistake that students will do? Students usually multiply that dividend with the original number of shares, that is 2.4 million. Students क्या करते हैं कि 2400,000 से उसको multiply कर देंगे. That is wrong. You need to understand कि you need to find out what were the number of shares at 31st July. Okay, what were the number of shares at 31st August, and you're going to multiply with that. That is why I say that dates are very important. So you started with 2.4 million shares, then you added 600,000 shares, so you got 3 million shares or 300,000 shares, and then in that you also, now you have also got the bonus issue shares, that is 500,000. So eventually the total shares are, sir, 3,500,000, so 3.5 million shares, and you're going to multiply this at the rate of 0.04 again to get sparse per share. So 0.04 into 3,500,000, you are going to pay an interim dividend, sir, of 140,000. Okay, again this will be nil, the remaining balances will be nil, and the total will have an impact that 140,000 interim dividend is being subtracted. So this was working number 4. Let's show it here that working number 4 was done here. Okay, show as many workings as possible, students. Okay, hope everyone got 3500,000 where I got it from. 2400 start of shares, 600,000 added, 500,000 added, so 3500,000 shares. Last two adjustments are left, so I'm going to solve those first. I'll solve this one. The profit for the year is 87,000. There is no interest tax talked about, so you can just write 87,000 directly. If there was any adjustment, you should have done that as well. So there are a couple of questions in which you have to do adjustments as well, students. So profit for the year will be added in retained earnings, that is, sir, of 87,000. Okay, so 87,000 is the profit, so added in the retained earnings. Rest is null effect. And the last one is revaluation reserve, that students will got a bit problem. So revaluation adjustment, or you can say the revaluation adjustment that I'm doing. So working number 5. Now let's talk about the revaluation adjustment, that is the last adjustment for this question. So students need to understand that, sir, revaluation is basically at the start of the year, sir. Revaluation, let's do revaluation is $40,000 at the start of the year, and they are giving the option that at 30th September, at the end of the year, the building which had originally cost 80,000, so the building which had cost 80,000 was revalued to 115,000. So this is the adjustment of 1 mark, and you need to understand कि start of the year में उसकी cost 80,000 थी और आपने उसको value किया था 120,000 पे, which means 40,000 का revaluation reserve generate हुआ था, and that is already mentioned here. Now in order to get if the revaluation is downward or upward, okay, asset key, always remember how you do this. Let me just see where a free space is there. Yes, let's do it here. Okay, sir, working number 5. So always remember the formula for this is that how do you do the revaluation adjustment? It is basically the new value minus the net book value, or the valuation new value minus the net book value. So I can clearly see that the revaluation is done now to new value is basically 115,000. Okay, 115,000 is the new value, and the net book value is basically 120,000, which means the asset is revaluing downwards by $5,000. Okay, so asset की जो buildings की value है, it's being going down, so you're going to write that, so it will be 5,000 reduction in the asset value, and you will get full marks for 10 marks for this question if you have done it correct. Okay, so that is very important, students. Hope everyone got it. कि पहले I'll repeat it again if anyone is having problem in this understanding. It was 80,000 cost, but you valued at 120,000, so there was a 40,000 valuation upward gain, and that is why 40,000 is written there, valuation upwards. Okay, but then what happened, sir, that by the end of there, because 30th September 2022 is the end of there, right, students? So at the end of there, now the value is becoming 115,000. The new value is raised to 115,000, and if we can see, your valuation is 120,000. It means there is definitely a 5,000 decrease. That is what I've mentioned, that 5,000 decrease there. Now students, to get the full 10 marks, just do out the balancing, because that will be also mark as well. So here we do, sir, the balancing. Quickly just use calculator to add things, and that will be it. 1200 plus 300 plus 250, that gives me 1750, sir. This is finishes, zero net effect. This will be 35, sir. Okay, 315 minus 144 minus 15 minus 140 plus 87, that is 103, sir. Hope everyone is getting it. And then this one will be addition of all these, that should be coming 1888. So 1 mark is for balancing and doing that as well. So that is how, students, everyone will get all 10 marks. Okay, for question number part B of this statement of change equity. Hope students got that, how I made that. Okay, and last part is again theory for 2 marks. So let me explain that as well. Explain why. So you have to explain, students, explain why dividends that are proposed at the end of the year of a financial year, they are not in bold shown in a company statement of financial position के dividends को why don't you show in the proposed dividend? So you need to understand that proposed dividend, students need to understand that proposed dividend according to IS number 10 is a proposed dividend is also IS number 10 related, and proposed dividend is not confirmed at the annual general meeting. It's not confirmed or yet approved. It is not approved by or not approve in the annual general meeting, okay, in the AGM. So that is why it is just being a proposed. You mention it in the notes and you don't show it in the statement of financial position, okay. So it has not been approved in the AGM by the shareholders, okay. shareholders ने अभी तक इसको approve नहीं करा है. Maybe इसमें changes हो सकती हैं और इसको बढ़ा सकता है. And there is no certainty. So proposed dividend is not confirmed or not approved. Approval by not approved in AGM by shareholders. Therefore there is uncertainty, okay. Therefore there is uncertainty, and when there is uncertainty it will not be recorded. So therefore there is uncertainty and not recorded. It will be shown as notes. इसको आप as a note show करते हो. It will be shown as notes to the in the balance sheet, okay. It will be shown as notes, but it will not be shown as a liability in the accounts. It should not be shown, okay. It would be shown as a note to the accounts in the final accounts. It will be shown as note to accounts in the balance sheet statement of financial position. So that is should be answer for 2 marks. एक तो आप बता दो एग्जामिनर को कि भाई जो डिविडेंड्स प्रपोज किए जाते हैं उनको नोट्स में शो करते हैं, उनको स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन में शो नहीं करते, उनको सिर्फ मेंशन करते हैं क्योंकि बिकॉज दे आर नॉट अप्रूव येट. सो दैट इज़ वाई वी कैन नॉट रिकॉर्ड दैम एज वेल. मे बी इसमें चेंजेस हो, शेयर होल्डर्स को इंक्रीज करवा लें, और जब तक पे नहीं करेंगे जब तक हम इसको रिकॉर्ड नहीं करते, जैसे कि फाइनल डिविडेंड और इंटरिम डिविडेंड होता है. सो स्टूडेंट्स, दिस इज़ योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 ऑफ दिस पेपर in a nutshell. Hope everyone get it and everyone takes help from this.